everybody. Welcome back to my podcast, Don't Drool on the Wool. My name is Cecilia. You can find me on Ravelry as Grandma Status, and you can find me on Instagram as Don't Drool on the Wool. Today I wanted to share some of the projects that I've completed, as well as some of the projects that I'm working on, as well as share a little bit about what I'm planning on in the future and a couple of acquisitions that I have. First, I'm going to say what I'm wearing. This is actually an old knit that I made in, I think, 2016 or 2017. It's made out of Valley Yarns Haydenville. I don't remember the colorway, but it's from Webs. And I really like it because I knit it off of a picture of a sweater in a yarn shop. I went to a yarn shop, saw a sweater, loved it, took a picture of it, and then figured out how to knit it myself. So it made me feel kind of smart. But it's pretty. It's got these ribs, like a broken stitch rib, and then cables. And that's the whole pattern. There's like some garter stitch coming down here. And then this panel up here on top. I'm a really big fan of this sweater. It's actually really comfortable, and the yarn washes really well and it wears really well. So I'm a big fan of it. On my last podcast, I showed some progress on my scarf, which I'll share right now. It's very boring because it's simply a garter stitch scarf. And the yarn is a Bernat. I know it's a Bernat yarn, but I'm not actually sure what the yarn is because it was gifted to me when my friend's grandmother passed away. And with scarves, garter stitch scarves, what I'll usually do is I'll cast on 42 stitches because it's the answer to life, universe, and everything. And then I will just knit until I'm tired of knitting or I run out of yarn. So that's a nice, it's pretty tall. It's a pretty nice length scarf. It can go around, like doubled if you wanted to do it that way. So it's a pretty good scarf, I would say. My hair went in there. But yeah, it'll keep someone warm. I'll probably donate this one to the homeless shelter here where I've recently moved to. I have to, in my old town I knew where to donate things, but I don't know where to donate things here. So I'm gonna have to research that. The second completed garment that I've made is my You Are Enough shawl. And this was made using a kit, actually. Ignore my little stitch marker that's hanging there. I have to look at the, I don't know the name of the yarn. I really don't know the name of the yarn. Wow, really? Not even a little bit? I don't have it written down or anything. I'm a failure, you guys. But it's very soft, whatever it is. If you go and look up the pattern, it's called You Are Enough. And whatever yarn she recommends, that's the yarn that I used because it is literally a kit that I purchased from Knitique Yarns in Elk Grove, California. I'm a California girl. So here's how it is. I think it makes me look like a cupcake because it's like I have sprinkles. I really like it. I'm a big fan. The lace stitch, actually, I got down to the second lace repeat. I did 4 rows and then I made a mistake. And then rather than frog it or fix it, I just started the bind off and I just bound it off and I said, shawl, you are enough. And it is enough, just like that. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to knitting. The next project is also a shawl, and it is the Perfect Pockets shawl, and it's crocheted. This one I started actually last year in August of 2020, and I didn't finish it until November 2021 because I put it in a bag under my bed, and it sat there for a long time in need of finishing, and I finally got around to it. This one is being gifted to my niece, and I really like the way it turned out. It's actually from not Lion brand, it's Joann's brand yarn. Big Twist is what it's called, and it's just their largest balls that they have. I used one big ball and then part of a second ball. That was my dog sneezing because he likes to do that. Okay. Archie, are you okay? Okay. So that's all the projects that I completed. That's 3 projects. 3. I'm really excited with them. I did want to share one other project that is, I'm going to share it now in part of my works in progress because it is a work in progress. It is a pattern design that I have been planning to come out with for years. It is mittens that have these foxes on them. They're little fox mittens. And as you can see, they have a button, so you can wear them with the foxes up, or you can wear them with the fox down and have your fingers exposed. And it's a fun little pattern that I designed several years ago, and I never came out with a complete pattern because, just a moment, I just have a drawer full of knits here. There's another pattern design actually that I had started, and I was going to put on Ravelry, but I just never did. Okay, well, I can't find them, but I thought there was some little raccoons too that I had knit. They're the same concept, but they're small, and they were raccoon faces. My plan was to do foxes, raccoons, cats, bears. I think that was it, and do one pattern that encompassed all of them to be able to do them all in sizes ranging from child to adult. However, that was too ambitious for me at the time, and I believe still now. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create one pattern for a lady's size fox and start with that and go from there. If you hear rustling, that is my little rat, my pet rats in their cage rustling. I don't know if you guys want to see what's all in this, what's all in here. I have all kinds of projects from a long time ago. I probably won't go through them all today, but if you're interested in seeing them, let me know, and I can do a video which shows them. This one is a little owl. I would just have to go through and find out what yarns I used because I made these all a very long time ago. But yeah, so that's a work in progress, the fox mittens. Another work in progress I have going on right now is a pair of socks. I have one sock complete. They are called the Fairy Maiden socks by, I want to make sure I give the name, which I didn't do for the other patterns because I don't have the patterns with me, and I apologize. Oh dear, She doesn't say. Wow, it doesn't say. But it's called Fairy Maiden. And I got them off Ravelry. It's a free pattern. And the yarn is called Gathering. And it's a fingering weight in a leaf colorway. And it's got this pretty pattern going. I like how it comes out. I like the pattern itself. I've reached the toe, so I'm starting to do the decreases for the first toe. And I'm liking the look of it, but actually knitting this pattern up is not very fun for me, and I have to tick off each row as I go, and I'm not a big fan of doing that, so it's been taking a lot longer than I would have liked to have hoped. I started the sock in July, and it is November, so it's taking a while. That's one work in progress. A second work in progress is another pair of socks. I got these cute little bags at Michael's, and they're reversible actually. They're reversible, and you can hang them on your wrist, and your yarn is in there, and you can knit while you're walking, which is really cool. I really liked that. And they weren't very expensive too. They were pretty cheap. So I got those little guys from Michael's. This sock is just a plain vanilla sock, and I only have this much on the go. This yarn I got from Webs, and it is Cloudborn sock. And I don't remember the colorway. I think it was something to do with marine. But it's mostly blue. It does have a little bit of like purple in it. Just a little bit here and there. But it's really pretty. And I believe this sock, the first socks I'm going to keep for myself because they're just too much work to not keep for myself. But this pair I might give to my mother-in-law for Christmas, if I can finish them, which this is the first sock and it is November 12th. So I'm not thinking that they're going to be finished in time for Christmas because I have so many other projects on the go. So they might go to her later. Her birthday's in February, so maybe for February. So that is the second pair of socks. I have also another boring stock or garter stitch scarf, just like the old one that I just completed, except that this one is made in gray. And it's not the softest yarn ever. It's some kind of acrylic, again, that was gifted to me, and it's kind of raggedy. I know that's not a word, but it's kind of raggedy. That's what I meant. I'm not sure what yarn it exactly is, but this, I like to have a project that's just boring and plain, just to keep by the side of my bed when I'm bored and I want to knit on something, but I don't feel like casting something on. I don't feel like looking at it. I don't feel like using double pointed needles. Sometimes I like the traditional, needles. The next project I was working on in the last podcast, and it is my Habitat cardigan. There's my hook. I have just about finished the body part, the body portion. Excuse it, it's so wrinkly. My goodness, it's been shoved in a bag. I've used 3 balls of this Lion brand Heartland in the color Badlands. And this one just works out. You sew it like this. You sew it like this. So you seam up here and you leave an opening here for the sleeve, and then it's like a shrug. So you wear it, sideways like so. And you sew it up so it'll be like that. And then a dolman sleeve So then after this part, I'll have to pick up and crochet down a tush extension part and then sew on the 2 sleeves, and then that will be done. And that one I really don't think is going to take very long. The first one took 2 weeks. And the only reason I'm not working on this one currently is because one of my friends in my AA meeting was really fond of it, and she's a crocheter, and she wanted me to show her how to do it. So I was going to go to her house tomorrow and show her the seaming process, just so she could see how simple it is to go from a flat rectangle to the main body part of the shawl, and then just to pick up around the tush and then do the collar, and it's so done, like, so quickly. So that one, this looking good. This hook, I'm not sure what kind of hook this is, but it came from Michael's, and it's really comfortable to crochet with. It's got like this like rubber on it. It's just plastic, but it's really comfortable. I really like it. This is the final work in progress that I'm sharing with you today. It's not the final work in progress that I own. I am in the process of moving, and my craft room is not completely built yet. It is in process. And the boxes, all of my yarn and my knitting needles and all of my projects are in the boxes in the room waiting to be built. So I won't be able to share those until we start getting them unpacked and get the room built first, finished. But I do have a couple other sweaters, a couple of other pairs of mittens, there's a lot going on in my life, you guys. But this is the last one I'm sharing with you today. And I showed it last time too, and it's my red fuzzy sweater that I've nicknamed my Elmo Sweater because it is the color of everyone's favorite red monster off of Sesame Street. And here it is. I have connected the sleeves and started decreasing for the yoke. It's a raglan, and the only problem is I only have this one ball of yarn left. So hopefully that is enough. I'm gonna do a big knit on it tonight and see how far I get. I'm gonna finish that ball tonight and see if I finish it or not. And if I don't, then it's gonna be a work in progress for a long time because I don't know where the other yarn is. You see the bottom here, how it's flipping up like this? How it's like bent upwards? That's because this is garter stitch down here. And what I'm gonna do is snip a stitch, pick up all the stitches, and then knit down in 2x2 rib instead, so that it doesn't flip up like that because it's irritating to me. It's just really bothering me. But I like it. So far, so good. It's fuzzy, looks cozy, and I definitely will have it finished by Christmas unless I can't find another ball to finish it. So that's it for my works in progress, you guys. That's pretty good, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not that many. I'm really proud of myself. Oh, 5. Forgot the scarf. And let's not count all of the ones that I haven't shown you. But I will show off, I do have an acquisition today because I went to a yarn shop in Murphy's, California on my way home from work today. It's called, uh-oh, I don't want to screw up the name of the yarn shop. It's called Maisie Blue, and it's in Murphy's. And I picked up this knitting book. Oh goodness, it's got, the sun is kind of going against it, and I'm sorry. But it's got these patterns, and I mainly bought it for this sweater pattern here, which is gorgeous. It looks like a set-in sleeve with some cables. God, you can't really see it. Maybe that, you can kind of see it like that. Another pattern that I liked in the book, there's another image of it. Another pattern that I liked in here was this shawl that is on the cover of the book. It's got some kind of texture design, and then it's kind of knit sideways, the border of it. But there are 7 patterns in the book. There's the sweater that I like, this blue sweater, the shawl I like. I don't really like this sweater. It's just, let me see a bigger picture of it. It's got stars on it. Sorry. I wouldn't really enjoy knitting that, I don't think. And there's a hat and a cowl and this sweater. I almost actually bought the yarn to go with this book. It's called Jody Long yarn, but I didn't. I should have, because it would have been cheaper than the yarn that I did buy, actually. But I didn't because it wasn't incredibly soft, and it has alpaca in it, and I'm not a fan of alpaca. I just don't think it's incredibly soft. I picked up some needles, just Knitter's Pride, and they're like the same color as the yarn that I bought, which I think is really fun. And so the main event here is this Madeline Tosh Twist Light. Let's see if I can bring it over there and get it in the sun. The color is this gorgeous, like, cranberry burgundy type of color. This one, see how it's really dark right there? Pretty. I don't know what the color is. It says it's one of a kind, so I'll probably have to knit with 2 balls at a time to make sure that I don't have pooling or any like obvious lines between the balls. But it is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, and it's so pretty. I hope you can see how squishy it looks. I've never actually purchased Madeline Tosh before, and I'm proud of my dog. He took my spot. Move, Archie. He really took my spot. But yeah, it's really soft, and I'm really looking forward to knitting with it. I might be making that sweater, but I don't think I have enough yarn here actually to make that sweater. I think I just bought that sweater, that pattern book, for inspiration, really. And I'm really excited. What I meant to do and did not was I meant to actually go to that yarn shop and pick out a yarn that's washable and dryable so that I could make my coworker who's expecting a baby a little sweater or dress, or a little sweater dress or something like that. She's having a girl. But the yarn shop didn't have any washable and dryable yarn. It was all very, well, this is superwash, so technically this is superwash yarn, so I could have bought a different color of this, and I didn't. Because I got selfish. Once I got there, I was just like, I want to make myself something with this gorgeous color. So I'm going to. And I'm not really sure yet what it's going to be, but I know it's going to be a top. And I don't think it's enough to be a long sleeve sweater. Well, each one is 420 yards. So I might be okay making a long sleeve sweater. But I think I'm just going to make a top. And then if I have any extra, who knows? Who knows? All I know is that I needed more yarn because all of my yarn is hiding in baskets and bags, and it's all in boxes. And I know I'm going to run out of knitting to do on that sweater shortly. And then this project is going to be done pretty soon. And then I'll just have these 2 socks and a scarf. And socks with the DPNs, I don't always want to use DPNs, and the scarf is boring, so I don't always want to use straights and do garter stitch. So I wanted to have one other fun project. So that is why I bought this yarn. I have to go on to my Cold Sheep and Friends and admit to them that I have gotten off my sheep and disembarked and purchased some yarn because I wasn't supposed to do that, but I did. Yeah, so I've only been on here for 25 minutes and hopefully you're still stitching and working on something. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through this box of other patterns or other, it's actually a drawer, but I'm gonna just share some other things that I've made over the years. It looks like I have some fingerless mitts. Now, I have a sister who has rheumatoid arthritis, and every single year I've been knitting her fingerless mitts for Christmas. Last year I didn't get around to it because I just was so busy with college, and this year I might just give her these ones because they're done already. I don't know what yarn I used or anything. It looks like just a ribbing that's like a spiral rib, and then I just left a part open here for the thumb. And I don't really know what kind it is, but I might just keep them for myself because I've been working in an office, and when it's cold in there and I'm typing, I do like to have wrist warmers on. So those are cute. I wish I knew what yarn it was, but I know it's a wool. I can tell by the feel of it that it's a wool. Here's a hat. This hat, there was a pattern that came out in, geez, this hat's really old. It came out a very long time ago for a sweater that was a Sherlock Holmes sweater, and that was on Ravelry. It was free, and I think it was in like 2012 maybe, and I bought this white yarn at Big Lots. It was super cheap. It's just acrylic. It's really stretchy, and I used this hat as a swatch, and I did start the sweater. I made one sleeve, and then I gave up entirely. Here is a little bag that I made. It has a little leaf on it. I believe that this is a Tiny Owl Knits Stephanie Dosen pattern. It's a felted bag. I believe it was called the Magic Treetop bag. It's on Ravelry, and I think it's a paid pattern. But it's very cute, and I never used it. I'm not sure why. I sewed a little owl onto it. I thought it was cute. But I've never used it. And you know what? I really feel like I could put like a tarot deck in here. And then it could be something that goes out with me when I go for walks. Again, with like fantasizing like times and places where you're going to use your knits. I showed you these. This hat is called the Windowpane Hat, and I designed this. It's on Ravelry. I designed it, and I don't think I did a good job of designing it. But I know that some people have knit it, and they've like messaged me and been like, I need help, and I've had to help them. And I'm not a designer, so I feel bad about that. But it's called the Windowpane Hat, and I made it out of yarn that I dyed with Kool-Aid. That one's kind of fun. It's called window pane because these are like little blocks, little city blocks. Kind of looks like a railroad track to me now. Okay, here's a shawl. What do we have here? It's green. It's bright green. It's made out of yarn I found at Tuesday Morning. And it's, I believe, the Nomad Shawl. But it's so small. It came out so itty bitty that I never wore it. And it just sat in a basket. This is like a box of my abandoned knits, you guys. That's what this is. But I do have a friend who recently saw my You Are Enough shawl on Facebook and said she really liked it. And she wants one to put on her shelf so that she can put her plants, her potted plants on top. And I guess she likes to put little scarves up. So she'll put it like this and then put the potted plant on top. And so I might give her this one because I'm never going to use it for anything. So if she likes it, I will mail it to her. No questions asked. And this is actually one of my first crochet projects I ever made. And it's also a Tiny Owl Knits design. And they are wrist warmers. And it's made out of Cascade 220. The fact that I remember this is just remarkable. But they are crocheted in the round. And I really like them. They're really cute, actually. I could wear these at work and I would be so cute. Oh my gosh. I might take these to work too. Have options. Things to wear at work. I think they're cute. Another pair of wrist warmers. I was a big fan of making wrist warmers, and these ones actually I used Sestari wool 2-ply, and I made a scathing yarn review on my YouTube channel back in like 2012 regarding this yarn. But it's very soft. It comes out really soft, actually, when you knit with it. I have another sweater, actually, out of this yarn that I will be happy to share next time. That definitely shows off the yarn in a really good way. And then, yeah, we just have some hats. I just like making hats. They're wool. They're made out of Patton's classic wool. Hat. Another hat. Sometimes when you're bored and you have nothing to do, just knit a hat, you know? This yarn is, I have no idea what yarn this is, but I like this hat. This hat's nice. I haven't seen it in years. I wouldn't mind wearing it this year. Oh, I think I'm gonna take it out and wear it. Yeah, baby. Here's another just Fair Isle hat. This was a swatch for a sweater, actually. And then the owls, which I showed. Those are cute. Another hat. This is another hat that I designed myself. It's just a garter stitch hat. And I actually really like the way it turned out. It's kind of slouchy, but not too slouchy. And it's garter stitch, so it's kind of textured and squishy. I like it. I might take that one out and use it too this year. Another hat. This looks like just a scrap hat. Maybe my daughter could wear this. It seems a little small for me, but my daughter might wear it. It's a little bit fat and short. So I'm not sure what I was thinking when I made that one. I think what I was gonna do with all of these actually was donate them to a thrift store. There's the owl hat. It's a cute one. I think I made that one in like 2012 also. These I just found while I was unpacking. So apparently I knit things and then I don't do anything with them. One more hat. Red and white. Very Christmas. So if my head's ever cold in the winter, I know where to go. Just look in this drawer, I guess. And then here's the baby hat. I could totally just give this to the baby and then I don't have to knit anything. But this is wool and I didn't want to give a baby wool. So why did I even make it? Who knows? Who knows? But I did make these really cute mittens, but they're a little tight for me. I bet they would fit my son though, but he would probably think they're itchy because they're 100% wool. This is Cascade ecological wool, so he would probably think they're itchy. But I think they're great, and if it snows, yeah, baby, I'm gonna wear these. That's for damn sure. I think they're cute and they're warm. There's like a little bit of stitch popping out. Just gonna snip that off. Just gonna snip that off. Get rid of that. Other than that, they're cute. Yeah, so hopefully you had fun diving into my box of old goodies and seeing my recent projects and seeing the projects I am currently in progress with. This was more recent of a podcast than I was thinking. I was thinking I wouldn't tune back in until December, but I had so much to share, and some of these gifts are going to be given like really soon, so I didn't want to have given them away and then do the podcast and then be like, well, I can't show you because I gave it away already. So yeah, hopefully you got some work done on what you're working on, or you had fun doing whatever you do while you watch podcasts. And I'll see you next time.